Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. There's quite a few people who have the RØDECaster Pro. This is the second generation. And there's plenty of unboxings, etc. But there's some things that I didn't notice people doing. So I'm not going to try and copy what other people have done. This is actually second-hand as well, so I don't even know what the previous owners put in the boxes yet. I'm hoping it's sort of got everything that would normally come in the box. So you will have to check, if you go to buy this, just check what comes in the box yourself, because this could have some extra things in there, or it may be missing some things. But I'm just going to open it up and have a quick look, because when I was looking online, some things weren't clear to me. But anyway, let's just get it open and have a look. Now, okay, so the first thing is the actual unit itself. I'm just going to get it out and have a look at what else is in the box, and then I'll move the box and come back to the unit. So, okay, well, there's some power cable, I guess a supply in here, USB cable, USB-C, USB-C, which I imagine came in the box. There's an XLR cable here, and a power supply, it looks like. Power supply. Yeah, that'll be a power supply. So you got your normal. Now, the one thing I don't know is I don't know whether this XLR cable, that probably doesn't come in the box. That's probably an extra. I'm really not sure what that is. Some sort of a clip. I do know what that'll be. That's a little clip to go. This will be a USB power, so there'll be a normal plug-in area, and then that little clip will go on the end of the USB to try and supposedly hold it in place, but I don't know how successful that'll be. So I'm not going to show you the power cable. That's pretty self-explanatory. So let me just get this box out of the way, and we'll look at the unit. Now, part of what I was saying, let me just open this up, get it out of the plastic. Okay, so it looks quite clean, so I don't know how much use this has had. One thing that when I was looking, that wasn't totally obvious to me was the actual size of it. On a lot of the videos and things that I saw, it actually looked huge. Now, just looking at this power supply, so it's a 0.75, so it's USB, it's a PD output. I really don't know. Okay, so let me just go out on a bit of a limb. I'd say that probably I'll be correct. You probably don't need to use this. You can probably use any USB-C cable that's got a decent rating, like a 5 amp rating, plugged into a decent PD power supply. So this is what Rode supplies with the unit, but I would say you could use whatever one you wanted. So if you don't want this thingy hanging around the back of your desk, I've got some long 3 meter 5 amp USB-C cables, and I have good PD power supplies, so I could use that to run this unit. You wouldn't have to use this, is what I'm saying. Okay, I'll just set that out of the way. USB-C cable is pretty obvious what that is. That's a very, actually, I won't say too much, but that's an original Rode USB cable. It looks like it must have some sort of shielding, because that is so thick. I haven't seen a USB C cable as thick as that before, but I would say it's a very good quality cable with shielding on it. Anyway, we'll put that out of the way. Now, one of the things that I couldn't see online was the size. So I wanted to sort of give you an idea of the size. It's actually not as big as what I thought it was going to be, but let's just get a tape measure and measure it, because I haven't seen anyone do this. You can look up probably online, but still sometimes looking on YouTube. So it's basically a foot wide, or just shy of 31 centimeters by, let's just call it 11 inches or 28 centimeters in height, and the depth is roughly about 7 centimeters or just shy of 3 inches. So it's quite a decent size thing. But like I said, it's not as big as what I thought it was going to be. I was expecting it to be, I don't know, how could I compare? Anyway, I was just expecting it to be bigger than that. Let's just take the average mobile phone size. This is a Google Pixel 8 in a case. So what's it? Basically 3 pixels, not even too high. Anyway, that'll give you some sort of an idea of the size. So, most of my recordings, I do have some decent mics. I've got USB-C mics. I've even got some combo USB-C and XLR mics, and I'm going to put them through this. I'm probably not going to pick up a whole lot of sound quality. I may pick up some, especially if I use one of my better mics. I'm even thinking about putting my unboxings through this. So I'm not going to be doing podcasts. I'm using this to cut down steps in my audio on my video. So let me just explain. So this may be overkill for many content creators, but what it does is you've got processing in here. So quite often some of my microphones, the sound may need some changes or some noise or things edited out. So if you do your recording and then you're into whatever editing software you have, or you have to export the audio and then you have to go into another app like Audacity or something like that to change that audio, or to repair things, or to fix that audio. In video software editing, in editing software, they have that function usually built in, as you may well know. And you can save some presets, but you've still got many extra steps with your audio. So with this, I'm going to do all the process. I'm going to make a preset in here, and then I'm going to have this do all the processing, and then it will just send the signal out either to the computer or to the camera. And that way, the audio won't need any further work, or shouldn't. That's the idea. Shouldn't need any further work for my purposes. That will, if you're doing more and more content creation, you start to look for ways to become more efficient, to cut out some steps. There is a lot of AI that you can use to modify, say, sound or whatever. But I found that sometimes that can make things sound very artificial. So you have to really tweak the settings. You can't just use a basic setting. If you're into video, you've still got to go through and then review everything. So what I'm saying is, a lot of the time I find that you're not saving time with a lot of those AI functions. You've got just as long a process. So I hope that sort of explains, just to quickly summarize again, let's say on this recording that I'm doing now, usually the sound will be quite good because I've already got the settings on the microphone set up reasonably well, but it's far from optimal. On most unboxings I don't worry, but if it's something else that's important, I would then get that audio file and I would have to do certain things to it to improve the quality. Maybe to remove some background noise, maybe to remove some echo, like this room gives a little bit of echo. It's not treated, this room. Now, you have to do all of these things in post. Apart from your video editing, which is the visual part, then you have to go through the audio, and and if you've got multiple clips shot on different days or in different locations, that can be a bit of a pain. It's a bit of a chore. There's multiple steps to add, to remove certain noise, to change the tone slightly, to get rid of any low frequency noises, etc., etc. Whereas with this, I'm going to set up my microphone or microphones that I use. I will tweak every setting in here and then save it to suit each microphone depending on which one I'm using, and you can have a number of microphones hooked up to this, and then that will mean that audio will go directly into the camera or directly into the computer software editor without me needing to do anything further. So it's saving me a number of steps. And trust me, when you're doing enough video, those extra steps and having to do it every day, you multiply it by multiple videos, multiple days, it's a significant amount of extra time and mucking around. So that's what this is for. It has a whole range of other abilities. You can go and look up, I'll just briefly tell you now, you can look up some of the videos on YouTube in regard to this RØDECaster Pro version 2, or even the original RØDECaster Pro. Very capable. You can put all different sounds in here. You might have heard some podcasts online and you hear laughter, or you hear a certain horn or something like that. Well, the person who's talking, they are using these buttons, which you can preload with all sorts of things. So you want some applause, this might be the applause button. You just press that and hold it, or you can even set it to do other things so you don't have to hold it. That's what those buttons do. This is just a general mixer, so this is mixing your volume of your line in, so your mics or anything else that you've got coming in. This can take inputs from all over the place. So you can basically, with this, run a full podcast show and have really good professional level audio just from this item. You can also, with this item, I've thought about doing some interviews before. I can take this will take a card, or you can record to a hard drive, external hard drive, and you can power it even with a power bank. It will also record to a SD card if you put one in here. So you don't even need to have a computer. Just take your microphones. It'll take wireless microphones, Rode ones as well, and there's other ways to hook up other microphones. Or, professional quality XLR microphones with stands. Plug them all in here. You can record your interview or your podcast or whatever on some location, and all your audio is done. It's there, saved. You can even save it to multiple places at the same time. So that is the RØDECaster Pro. Now, I'm not going to go into anything else, but one other thing I will show you, because I thought this may be handy. If you're a content creator, you may already be getting to the stage, which I was at a long time ago, where I'm always running out of desk space. But this also has the option, it's got a Visa mount. It's also got, I don't know what that mount is, but that's a 3/8 mount. That means you could even put this onto, well, you can put it onto anything that's got a 3/8 mount. So you could potentially even just have a tripod, have a 3/8 mount on a ball head, and then set this up and have it sitting somewhere where it's accessible. Depends on what you're doing with it, I guess. If you're pressing these buttons a lot and you're interacting physically with this a lot, you probably wouldn't want it on something like that. But you could mount it on a Visa mount. We could have it on some sort of desktop mount so that it's sitting, up like, this kind of thing instead of down there. Although down there is actually quite good, but you're just losing your desktop real estate, that's all. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else for me to say. I'm not going to say anything else at this stage. I'll probably do another video later and explain if it has really saved me a lot of time, or if I've got some other really big benefit out of it in regard to general content creation, not in regard to podcasting or whatever, because you can read and look at what other podcasters who use this extensively, what they've got to say. You can look at their opinion. But from a content creator perspective, even a smaller content creator, I will give you an update and tell you what I think probably in a few months or whenever I think about it later from now. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope that maybe helps show you something about the RØDECaster. If you've got any questions, I am quite familiar with how to use this, even though I haven't used it myself. I do understand how to use it and what it can do. So if you've got any questions, yeah, drop them below. If I can answer or help you out, I will. If I don't know, I won't guess. So yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you later, and bye for now.